Hello everyone, my name is Daya Prakash and I am your host today. I welcome you all to today's webinar where the topic of our discussion would be making the switch from QuickBooks to NetSuite. The agenda that we have underlined for today's discussion is talk a little bit about our QuickBooks and manual processes or manual processes holding you back. I assume that all of you who are attending this, discussion today represent organizations which are in growing phase. Okay? Just to give you a little bit of context, and you will agree with me on this, if you've seen this growth journey or you are experiencing this growth journey, that as the organization grows, it becomes very, very difficult for entry-level accounting softwares to manage your operations. Your requirements also change drastically, right? You would like to have the view of the business at a click of the button, something which I don't think is easily possible through entry-level accounting softwares. So to discuss this particular topic a bit more in detail, we have an esteemed panel. We have an esteemed panel with us today. And before we proceed further in the discussion, let me quickly introduce. I think someone's mic is not mute. Ashish, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you so much. So, sorry for that. But before I start the panel discussion, one or two housekeeping, announcements for you, for everyone, that we will be having this discussion. The way we have planned this discussion is that we'll be spending about 40-45 minutes in discussion. And there'll be 15 minutes post the discussion that we have kept purely for Q&A. However, as and when you are attending this session and you have a question in mind, you please start writing down those questions in the Q&A window. And these questions would be taken towards the end of the session. So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you. The second thing is that during this whole discussion, we've also planned the session in such a way that there are going to be certain polls. So these polls, I would like all of you to kind of participate in these polls just to kind of check that what you think about a topic and what everyone else thinks about the same topic, right? So it gives you a better perspective of what your thought process is and what others, other leaders are thinking in the similar domain. So without any further delay, let me quickly introduce the speakers here. I have with me CA Uttam Kedia, Principal Solution Consultant, NetSuite India. Welcome to the session, Mr. Uttam.
Thank you. Thank you.
We also have with us Mr. Siva Kumar Natarajan, Director, NetSuite India. Welcome to you, Mr. Siva Kumar.
Thank you so much. Very good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon. We also have Mr. Chandrakar, Director, Customer Success, Oracle NetSuite. Welcome to you, Mr. CK.
Thanks, Daya, and thanks everybody for joining this. Looking forward to it.
Sure. And we also have last lady representation here, Ms. Soumya Tripathi, Senior Solution Consultant, Oracle NetSuite.
Hi,
welcome to the session, Soumya.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, let me start the discussion. And my first question would be to Mr. Uttam, Mr. Siva, Mr. CK. I have a common question for all three of you. And my first question to you is that what are some of the biggest regions business typically start out running on QuickBooks or entry-level accounting softwares? What are the benefits as per you? So if we can start with you, Uttam, Mr. Uttam.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, let me take that. Basically, to my understanding, there could be many reasons, but some of the important reasons could be like easy to access. So it's like easily available, easily you can subscribe them without any pre-check or any kind of validation as such. So, and also it comes at a lower ticket size. Typically, you kind of get at a lower ticket size initially. So I would say these are like precisely some of the reasons to people getting onboarded onto QuickBooks for a very quick gratification. Thank you.
Fair point.
Siva?
Your take, Mr. Siva? You're on mute, Mr. Siva.
Sorry. Very good afternoon to the esteemed audience and also the fellow panelists. Basis our continuous engagement with the typical the client base who have been using QuickBook or any other software, the basic two things that are coming to mind from the feedback is that any organization with a less of complexity where they want to implement a plain vanilla kind of a accounting system to make it deployed faster, QuickBook was being selected from that perspective to make it happen. It's purely something like an automation from Excel sheet to a QuickBook kind of a thing. Whereas any growing organization or the organization having a envision for growth, the complexities get added, and that's where they were looking for a very scalable, robust, and a proven platform. So that's where I think they are looking at from this kind of a system. That's what we could understand, and that's where we see some sort of interactions happening.
Great. I think some of the the feedback that is directly coming from your customer base in terms of the region that they quickly jump onto the entry-level software, accounting software. Mr. CK, your take on this?
Yeah, hi there. And QuickBooks has always been a very easy, fuss-free, very convenient, and access anywhere accounting package, which gives a great flexibility for a lot of startup business. They also don't force their customers for any mandatory upgrade, which means you can still be on the older version as long as you are comfortable and you want to. And it worked well for most of the startup business, but their strength seems to be their weaknesses as well, because all business tends to grow and need a software ERP to support their growth. And as they grow, they want all the latest updates and functions, and that is where their quick early success becomes unsustainable. Yeah.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. I think what you described in terms of the region for people to quickly jump onto entry-level software, accounting softwares. I think across all three of you, it's just sounding that that's the kind of obvious thing to jump onto. But I think the challenge comes in when the organization get to see the growth, right? So my next question, Mr. Uttam, to you is that we all heard these reasons why
Daya, we are not able to hear you.
Yeah. Are you?
We are still not able to hear you. You can actually, if you want, you can just switch off and then do the audio to start with, probably. And Ashish, you can actually go on without.
Are you able to hear me now?
Loud
better. Absolutely.
Yeah, loud and clear. No problem.
Sorry, there was some signal issue there. But I think, so my question to Mr. Uttam was that it might be quick and relatively easy to get started on entry level accounting softwares, right? But as these business continues to grow, what are the key challenges that they face running on QuickBooks or any other entry level accounting software, as per you, if you can help us understand that?
Yeah, so there could be, again, there are various reasons, but top of my mind is reporting. So companies really need flexible reporting when it comes to proactive business decision making. And that too, they need data in real time. So the customized reporting is a need of the hour, and it's a big challenge with QuickBooks. So from a requirements like multi-subsidiary or a multi-location standpoint, when businesses grow internationally and they typically they fall short in terms of financial management perspectives, QuickBooks isn't kind of developed for handling multiple subsidiaries or multi-location environment. And in those cases, you need separate instances as well for QuickBooks to do that, which leads to manual consolidation. And they typically don't have multiple currency scenarios and those reportings in terms of multiple standards like IFRS or US GAAP, or say for instance, like statutory reporting as well, many times kind of looks wanting. Add to that, there are like disparate systems. So how do we manage disparate systems like CRM, HR, payroll? These are like additional requirements that needs to talk to finance in order to kind of make it a very comprehensive accounting software. And it's very difficult to manage those from a multiple solutions point or multiple point solutions to kind of get a single view out of the business. So multiple systems leave data in silos. And when you have siloed data, it is very difficult to make it a real-time proactive decision making. On top of that, again, complying to ever-changing regulations and accounting standards. Typically, for instance, like to name a few, maybe like lease accounting or revenue recognition. These are like, there are like accounting standards and governance, which kind of is been carried across. So these also require an additional access. So these are some of the reasons, to my understanding, will be very quick to focus, which are not there in QuickBooks per se.
I see. So, what I gather, just to quickly summarize that, what I gathered is that, you mentioned about reporting requirements, right? As the organization grows, the reporting requirement. And in my mind, when you say reporting, it also includes the automation of a lot of processes underneath, right? Which goes into capturing data and then, able to help you kind of get into those reporting formats, the data into those reporting formats. So gives you visibility of the business, at a glance. And with that, this, multi-geography, multi-country kind of a, setup, or, multi-location setup, and then, the currency setup, multi-currency kind of a scenarios. And, so, and you also spoke about, governance and regulation, etc. Other things also. So I think these challenges are well understood from what you said. If you can help us understand how NetSuite, solves or eliminate these challenges that you just spoken about. And before that, I think we had some, poll for our audience, a live poll. So Yasmin, if we can have the poll live, and see what our audience have to say. So I guess the poll is visible to everyone. So the question is, what accounting or finance management solution do you currently use in your organization? And please, if you can answer this question. We have about a minute or so to quickly gather as to, what kind of segment today's audience represent, and will definitely help us structure our further conversation or discussion around the topic accordingly. So encourage everyone to please participate in this. Okay. So Yasmin, would we be able to see the results also?
Not for this.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question. So my question to you, Mr. Uttam, as I asked you before the poll, is that you mentioned about these challenges with the entry-level accounting softwares, but help us understand, how does NetSuite eliminate or kind of overcomes these challenges, help organization overcome these challenges? So over to you, Mr. Uttam.
Absolutely. So I'll just take help of a couple of slides to kind of introduce NetSuite. So maybe Those slides will be kind of benefit of the audience and for everybody if we can have them on the screen before I kind of talk through. But NetSuite is a cloud ERP. It's born in the cloud. It's a cloud native solution. So it's always been in the cloud. So it's been kind of it's born in the cloud since about 1998 onwards. It's only one version of the NetSuite that we have, and it has actually been always in the part of Oracle's realm and been merged into Oracle since about 2016, November 2016 onwards. Prior to that, it was a separate entity as a listed entity by itself. And currently, it's a phenomenal growth. The record growth is like we have close to around 32,000 businesses who are already using it live and kicking, and kind of the story is kind of going on. And from a year-on-year perspective, every year we have more than 7,000 businesses who kind of add on as a new logos to be added on as part of the businesses. So and very importantly, the renewal rate, because we kind of do business primarily, the subscription is for 1 year, and every year they need to renew this. So the subscription rate is north of 96%. So whosoever onboards us kind of remains with us for a year-on-year perspective. So that's the kind of acceptability or the adoption rate that we have. Not only that they're kind of subscribing it, but they're using it on a day-to-day perspective, and it's kind of spread across the globe. So as you can see, there are more than 215 or 220 countries and different territories, different native languages that we are kind of part of this thing. So it's a phenomenal experience, and very personalized solutions. Being on the cloud, there's only one version, but Oracle's commitment to keep it as high as 99.99% and north of it. So that's the kind of visibility and transparency that we are kind of working across. Maybe we kind of just hop on to the next slide to kind of talk through some more details.
Next slide, please.
Yeah, thanks. So again, this particular slide is what we call as like multi approach. So there is the solution that we have, as in like it's not only accounting, but there are like many facets. So this particular thing that we talk about is not only about ERP and ERP financials, but there's a solutions for CRM, there's for e-commerce. There is also called professional services automation, which is around the project lifecycle that we have. There are solutions for HR, and there's some solutions for built for NetSuite. So that's like you can actually create your own solutions on NetSuite, which could be for anything. So your last mile solutions, your operational transactions, all of it can be built in. But more importantly, this is based on the Suite Cloud, which is the single data source. And this entire platform is unified business intelligence. So you kind of any particular transactions, any particular masters that we define here, they are uniform across the instance, and they can be related, they can be transacted, they can be referred, and they can be reported upon. And most importantly, they are kind of personalized for different countries, different regions. So not only about languages, but multi-currency. So you will have your transactions in your functional currency, but you can report in global currencies. You can have consolidations. So you can have entities across the different regions. So it's multi-subsidiary, multi-tax structures that we have. So that's the whole beauty around the same. So it kind of handles the entire complexities that we have. And to add to that, over the number of years that we have been associated with businesses, there's a lot of learning that we have from each of these businesses. So right from software to services to different other businesses that we have. So for instance, like manufacturing, wholesale, retail, and so on and so forth, we have got a lot of learnings around each one of them. And based on those learnings, we have personalized solutions for each one of these areas. We are known for software and services, but then the stories kind of building upon. And there have been a lot of very good successes and very happy customers who are kind of using this particular thing, precisely because the framework itself is very user-friendly. The ease of use is one of the biggest advantage, and that's built upon some of the key metrics that we have. So we have role-based accesses in terms of the KPIs, the dashboards, which are very personalized to every role. Again, we can define those roles, and we can make it different kinds of roles and the workflows that are part of the flow of documentation. There are forms and integrations. There are Suite app communities. So all that is kind of part of the solutions, and built on to over and above that, there are leading practices. So there are best practices based on accounting world, based on the other global accounting and the governance standards. Those are part of the solution. So which is also helping across.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uttam. I think at this point of time, I would like to have poll to be put up, please, for our audience today. We all heard speakers from NetSuite talk about the challenges, but I think it will be interesting at this point of time to understand from audience as to what kind of challenges they are facing within their organization or in their journey. So the poll is up. I think it's up and visible to everyone. The question is, which of the following represents a challenge in your organization? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So would we get to see the results of the poll?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So there are challenges in fundraising. That's 24%, right? Followed by cash flow management, managing multiple subsidiaries and multi-book consolidation, 20%. Tackling compliance and regulation, 16%, and cash flow management. I think this brings me to the next question that I have, where there is a challenge that has come up, which is managing multiple subsidiaries and multi-book consolidation. So let me come back to Mr. Uttam once again. So growing organization, you've seen in this poll also, Mr. Uttam, but growing organization that want to bring in new revenue streams or expand operations overseas, how can NetSuite help scale these fast-growing businesses? What are some of the key features, functions that NetSuite provides and basic accounting software like QuickBooks or any other entry-level software, accounting software lacks? If you can help us understand that, please.
Yeah, so maybe, it's all about the design that we are actually part of. So NetSuite is again, as we said, like it's a solution for a multi-entity financial consolidation structure that we talk about. So yeah, maybe the next slides. Yeah, thank you. So again, it's like regional to global, and then there are like country-specific solutions that you see. So each of this entire org structure that we have, this particular headquarters, so you can have headquarters in anywhere across the globe. This is a worldwide headquarters to kind of represent a symbolic organization, which can be headquartered across the globe, anywhere across, but they can have entities again in regional locations. These regional locations can again be parent entities and which have individual country specific businesses as well. And our own India just resides here. So we can have India specific books, and there could be different other entities which will have their transactions in respective currencies, and they get consolidated at the regional headquarters, which finally gets consolidated at the global headquarters. And that's how we are kind of talking about multinational, multi-entity financial consolidation structure. So that's by the design of it. It's kind of very easily scalable to kind of handle on top of it. Add to that, we have maybe we just kind of move on to the next slide. And there's a bit of design that I just wanted to kind of talk through. So this entire ask about the whole ask of about compliance and reporting, and more importantly, the detail about this analysis. So there's an ask for analytical aspects and traceability across in terms of businesses. And that's by the design of it. So you'll see the chart of accounts, which is primarily what is something which is very, very standard chart of accounts that we see it as part of NetSuite. The green boxes that you see, these are like the dimensions. And the subsidiary dimension is where your debits and credits are matching. This is where your trial balances have been drawn. The natural account is the account segment that you have. And then there are additional dimensions. So we can actually name change them anything, but typically a department is more like a business function or a cost center and things like that, which can have again a parent-child relationship. You can have nth number of parent-child relationship here. Similarly, there could be a classification of data. So it could be something like wholesale, retail, and other aspects. we definitely need location-wise specific reporting around the same. And there are other dimensions as well. So there could be item-specific transactions, customer-specific details, project-specific tracking that we may need to have, or a vendor-specific transactions that we need to kind of talk through. So on and so forth, there could be various specific dimensions that we need to have. So what we are just kind of putting it across, we can get a lot of reports around each one of them. And there are like unlimited custom dimensions also we can define. And we can report on them not only at the GL level, but also at the subledger levels. So that's the kind of beauty of the system. I would kind of request Soumya to kind of help us kind of take through a very live demonstration. And she'll actually help you to kind of put more thoughts around and more insights on this. Soumya.
Interesting. That would be great. That would be great. Over to you, Soumya.
Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, Soumya.
Okay. So, so this is how a NetSuite dashboard looks like. Like Uttam said, NetSuite is a role-based system, and currently I'm logged in as a financial controller here. And as you can see, the system has a dashboard set up for me based on my role in the organization. And as you can see, just a minute. We are coming back.
Yeah, Soumya. So you can take your time. Actually, it gets stuck sometime. No worries. Please go ahead.
No, it's... Okay. Let me just log in.
Yeah, you can just refresh it, I think. Yeah.
Let me just log in again. So as you can see, I'm just putting the URL in my Chrome browser, and I'm logging in with just my, I have my NetSuite credentials, and it's simple to log in. It uses the Chrome browser. And yeah, I'm here. So as you can see, I'm logged in as a financial controller, and this is my dashboard. This is how my dashboard looks like as per my role and responsibility in the organization. So you can see I have a KPI meter here. I have some trend graphs. I can see the financial overview of my company. So without wasting time, let me just show you what Uttam was all talking about. So here I have something called a subsidiary navigator. So here I have my headquarter, which is my parent company. As you can see here, it is US, and the currency defined is as US dollar. And then under my headquarter, I have other subsidiaries like Germany, UK, USS, East and West. And then I also have a elimination subsidiary. So any transaction happening between these two subsidiaries, any two subsidiaries or three subsidiaries. So if there is a profit or a gain or loss, it gets posted to your elimination subsidiary. So whatever data I'm seeing on my dashboard, like this total bank balance, these trend graphs and the financial overview, I'm seeing currently at the parent company level. So suppose if I want to see the data of my particular subsidiary, suppose I want to see the data of my UK subsidiary only. So I'll simply need to click on UK, and as you can see, the entire data on my dashboard will change in real time, and it will show me the entire data of my UK subsidiary only. And you can also see that the currency symbol has been changed from US dollar to pound. So now it is showing me the financial overviews and the 10 graph and the bank balance and these are different KPIs for my UK subsidiary only. So that ways you can do the consolidation, and you can drill down to see the data of a particular subsidiary. And coming to financial segmentations, let me open a report to show you that. So here I'm opening the income statement. And as you can see, I can see the income statement of my organization at the parent company consolidated level from January to September currently. And now suppose if I want to see the income statement of a particular subsidiary, I can do that. I can simply select UK. And if I click on refresh, it will show me the income statement of my UK subsidiary. As you can see, the currency sign has been changed. Now suppose I want to see the income statement of all my subsidiaries, but at the consolidated, the headquarter currency level. So I'll just click on my subsidiary. And if I click on refresh, now it will show me the income statement of all my subsidiaries, but in US dollar, which is my parent headquarter currency. Now, if I want to see the income statement department wise, I can also do that. I just need to click department. And if I click refresh again, it will show me the income statement department wise. Like I have these departments: administration, engineering, marketing, operations. Similarly, I can also select a particular class as column, and class is nothing but your revenue stream. So I have these different business units, BU1, BU2. So it is showing me the income statement. Now my business unit wise, my revenue stream wise. Similarly, I have some more filters here. Suppose if I want to see income statement of a particular business unit only, I can do that. I can, if I want to see income statement of a particular customer or a particular project, I can also do that. I can, if I want to see the income statement of a particular department or a particular SKU, it can be your inventory item or it can be your service item. And also for a particular location, if I want to see the income statement, I can also do that, and I can mix and match. So these class, customer, department, these are financial segments, and that way you can do the slicing and dicing of your income statements. And you can also customize these reports. So this is a standard format, but you can always customize it. If suppose if I want to add another column and do my own calculations, I can easily customize this report. I can also see a graphical format of this report. I can export this report to different formats like Excel, PDF, CSV file, and then Word format. I can print these reports. I can email these reports to anyone, and I can schedule these reports to my mail account. So that's how you can see all your financial reports. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
thank you so
all
much,
from
Soumya.
me. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Soumya. Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, just to kind of.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mr. Uttam, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, I was just kind of putting that must have given a good insight as there's something called one world solution that we have it at NetSuite. So NetSuite's one world solution addresses those complex multinational, multi-company needs of an organization. Mm-hmm. And it also enables businesses to adjust for currency, taxation, and legal compliance difference at the local level, be it at a regional or a global level, and also helps to kind of add them as part of consolidation and roll-up structures. So, and thus it actually gets you a lot of visibility, that unprecedented visibility of businesses worldwide in a real-time perspective, and ensuring a consistency across data, and again, very compliant across the organization, both locally and globally. So that's where I would leave it. Thank you.
No, I want you to elaborate this particular point a little bit more on the compliance thing that we've spoken about multiple challenges, and thanks to Soumya that she has shown how easily, how seamlessly it can be done on the NetSuite software, right? But Mr. Uttam, on the challenges side, and what's your take on how when you adopt this NetSuite, the users, the organization can handle increasingly complex regulatory and operational compliance related challenges. So your take on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So NetSuite's compliance capabilities are immense. And to add to that, there is a governance model and the risk mechanism as well, which empowers this customers, the businesses that are onboarded onto them, to establish the right controls to meet their risk objectives. And then monitor and report them the effectiveness of those controls precisely. So that actually brings in a lot of, that helps in kind of bringing the company's regulatory maturity. And they're like audit ready solutions. So you can actually get them enrolled and being also kind of audited by the third party for any kind of external validation. And on top of that, NetSuite is externally audited for a lot of certifications like SOC 1, Type 1, Type 2, even SOC 2 certifications, ISO certifications. So quite a bit of that, because it's all very secure. The idea is to kind of secure the sensitive data, including some of the credit card and say personal identifiable information as well. So all of them are like very securely placed and kind of accessible to the identified hands only. And any kind of change can be tracked. So you can track your data changes for enhance and get a enhancement around say financial integrity broadly. And there are a lot of host of extensible and automated controls with powerful search and reporting capabilities, which kind of complement this entire solution. And thus, I would say not only for a new business, but for a startup to somebody who's kind of going through an IPO, this NetSuite entire structure is kind of helping them on the entire process as we kind of move across. Thank you.
So I think, thank you so much. We've spoken a lot about challenges and how, the challenges being faced and how NetSuite helps addresses those challenges, overcome those challenges. But I think, there is some interesting aspect in NetSuite, right? When it comes to customers. So I have one more question for you, Mr. Uttam. So
Sure.
please bear with me. But my question
Happy
to you is that, customer is front and center of any business, right? We all know that. Now,
Yes.
what kind of roadblocks does using basic accounting software produce in terms of customer relationship management and customer acquisition, retaining the entire journey of customer being with you as in, being with you in your organization, right? So what kind of, visibility across the customer life cycle NetSuite helps their customer gain this insight, right?
Yeah, so actually, the interesting piece here is NetSuite CRM. So the CRM module helps manage the entire customer lifecycle per se. It actually streamlines the entire lead to cash process. So the customer becoming a lead to a prospect getting into an opportunity is converted into a sales order, which is a win sales order, and then the entire cash conversion cycle is something that we have it there. Also to kind of elevate productivity with a 360-degree view of our customers, improve enhancement sales performance through forecasting, upsell, and commission management. It manages global sales, marketing services, and partner organizations, and remotely accesses CRM data on your mobile devices. So all of it has been kind of handling through the CRM perspective. On top of that, the things like customer acquisition cost or lifetime value or customer retention metrics are something which are kind of available out of the box from NetSuite system and track for a regular business's perspective. So that's the piece of it.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think so far we have spoken about, what makes customers or people, organizations quickly jump on to entry-level softwares, accounting softwares, and what are the challenges with those, and how NetSuite has an answer to those challenges very, very effectively. But again, if I am someone who's kind of exploring to kind of adopt or implement a solution in my organization, the general tendency has been that I would like to look for someone who's already done that, right? So if there is someone who's done that, I would be more comfortable. So with that, I'll come to you, Mr. Siva, now. So my question to you is that, if you can talk a little bit about, few of your customers who have made it the switch from QuickBooks to NetSuite or entry-level softwares, accounting softwares to NetSuite. Yep. I think that will help us all gain that confidence.
Absolutely, and thank
even
you so
further.
Much. Yeah, thank you so much for the question. I think when we started interacting with the market, where can you just get into the right slide, please?
Next slide, please.
Yeah, thank you. We were actually looking at in terms of when we were having our conversation with the prospect or the customer. Typically, what we have seen is the consolidation. When the organization on the growth path, obviously, whether we like it, we don't like it, there will be complexities that are going to be coming in. How we are able to manage that and overcome so that we continue to grow with all the constraints that are available and that are posing depending on the business dynamics. So basis our interactions, what we could understand from one of the customers where there is they are the NetSuite customer at this point of time, where they started the journey with us. The first and foremost thing was to actually have a consolidation across the parent and the other entities, because they were growing geographically beyond one entity to multiple entities. And also, if you look at the second thing that they talked about was majority of the small solutions will try to look at in terms of providing a very, very temporary kind of a solution. They are just acting like a point solution. Where NetSuite, they saw a value in terms of NetSuite coming as one platform, which can kind of help them grow. And when they grow, NetSuite helps them to grow from both horizontally and vertically. That is the second thing that we could understand when we're interacting with them. And also, very importantly, the global and local tax requirements from one single instance was also one of the critical things that they were looking for. After they doing a lot of due diligence, we have been selected as a preferred choice of a vendor where the NetSuite implementation is been kickstarted. This is a very leading ops management software vendor. They are now on NetSuite and the implementation is happening. Moving on, can I just move to the next one, please? Thank you. If you look at the second thing where we are looking at in terms of one, consolidation, which is typically resonating with every customer when there is a company which is wanting to grow. Obviously, they look at in terms of expansion, both from geography and also from the other line functions as well. So this is one thing which they have been pretty consistently talking about. And more importantly, if you look at automation of reports, and more importantly, how dynamically I can generate report as my consumption keeps changing. In the last 1 month, if I have had one particular form of me consuming my information, that may not be relevant as the business dynamics keeps changing. I need to be up against competition. I need to be more innovative. I need to also have a lot of reliance on the data and also the information. So it's more of fact-based decision. So they want to have something like a self-service kind of a platform that is going to help them generate their reports and stuff like that. And of course, if you look at in terms of disparate systems, when we talk about disparate system, data comes from various systems. And obviously, we need to consolidate at a level where the solution gives a single version of truth, where while multiple functions may be consuming this information that the way in which they want it, but the fact has to remain the same and one single version of truth. So these are all the things that they were looking for. And it's pretty clear that I think NetSuite had and has all the answers. And we actually have, they have been our customer and where the implementation is happening right now. Moving on to the next one. So if you look at the operational efficiency, the challenges that has been faced by this customer is to look at in terms of timely consolidation of report, and also in terms of how am I able to quickly recognize my revenue so that I'm able to have understanding of better utilization of how my resources are being there and how am I leveraging it, and also in terms of doing timely billing and the follow-up collections and stuff like that. And even if you look at the last point, invariably, if you look at in the last 3 success stories, or I would say the customers are invariably resonating. One, I need to have a platform which is able to help me scale, address complexities in a faster way. I should be able to be self-sufficient over a period of time. I don't have to look at in terms of wait for my report requirement today and I wait for another 1 week to get my relevance gets lost. So moving on, we also have done a small a survey in terms of understanding how we are faring. 93% of organizations increase visibility and control over the business since they made a switch to NetSuite, which is a very, very encouraging and a very big, feedback on that one. And 93% of the finance leaders, which is extremely important, that the efficiency or operational efficiency in the team has significantly increased, and that is to the tune of over 93%. When they started using NetSuite, and also in terms of reduce their operational data entry time. That also has typically what happens is like any end user who try to look at in terms of minimizing their work to put in the data at the same time, enriched information that is required. So NetSuite has been designed in such a way that you are able to kind of capture relevant information for you to get relevant insights that will help business take decisions. And of course, like around 66% of the organizations had challenges to handle complex accounting needs using a typical plain. I mean, it's just not only QuickBook. Any point solution will continue to have this kind of a challenges that will be posed to the customer organization, whereas NetSuite gives the flexibility for you to address complexity, a very highly scalable and sustainable system. That's what we could make out from this survey. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much. And I think I was looking at all three examples that you shared, and you shared those examples. They were like 15 million US dollar to 64 million US dollar to 23 million US dollar. So that gives me a lot of confidence in terms of the kind of business scales that you can, very well manage through NetSuite, right? So
no, in one word, if I have to just say that in one sentence, NetSuite is for all. Simple.
NetSuite is for all. Right.
Yeah.
So really excited. So maybe at this time, if I may come to you, Mr. CK, and understand the process. So I think Mr. Siva has shown us how it can support, right? And Soumya has already demonstrated how effectively, seamlessly it can be implemented. But general process, if I may know from you, Mr. CK.
Okay, so there, our objective is for all customers to go live as soon as possible. And as we respect their investment in NetSuite. And the important thing is that we follow one implementation process globally, no matter which country our customers are or which region our customers are and which regional NetSuite team is implementing them. So our implementation approach is built on our learnings of many years, and we have incorporated our learnings in our implementation methodology. And we call it a suite success. And how we differentiate is by bringing industry-leading practices, rules, KPI, dashboard from the day one. And since we are the part of the Oracle Consulting, so we leverage the depth of Oracle Consulting and how we trained all our consultants globally in a one way, so that we bring thorough industry experience, NetSuite experience, and that is how our consulting team has been built on. And next slide, please. So when we say that when we bring all the leading industry practices, roles, KPIs, dashboard from the day one, which means actually we don't have to start the implementation with a blank or empty instances, which is generally the case. We start the implementation from the scratch or ground zero. No, we don't start from there. When we start, we are already 30 to 40% up. Okay. And our approach is based on the configurable templates, whether it's a process configuration, customizations, or data migration. We ensure it's sustainable and scalable. For example, customization in NetSuite is sustainable and don't break with any future upgrades. Means a particular customization or a code which we have written 10 years back is still running with a multiple upgrades, 2 upgrades every year for our customers without having investment of any maintenance of that code. So that kind of sustainability and scalability we are talking here. Another important factor is that we bring full transparency during the implementation. So we don't have surprises during the UAT stages, for example. We make our project lifecycle very interactive, and our customer knows what's happening on the day-to-day basis. For example, like project management and every project is unique, right? So the way we manage our project, we manage our customer project inside the NetSuite. So a customer, they don't have to rely on any kind of status reporting, any kind of project. They can go in real time. They can go on their own NetSuite and see what's happening, all our UAT test cases, all our plan, all our resource allocation, assignment of the work, it's inside the NetSuite. Because when we're talking the fast deployment, we don't have a time or we don't have a buffer. So that is why we say that we build the transparency throughout the project lifecycle. And most importantly, I mean, we believe our growth is in our customers' growth. Yep.
Sure.
So, and another thing, the implementation team at NetSuite is known as a customer success team. Perhaps we are the very few organization, or maybe the only one. Generally, customer success team comes after the post go live. But in NetSuite, the customer success team get involved with you on the day one, because that is the best, or we can call it a important stage of any customer to go live, and customer success. That's we call it our customer success.
That's interesting. That's kind of assurance from day one that there is,
Yes.
everybody is aiming towards customer success. So, what better
Yes.
confidence than this one could give. So, I mean, really very encouraging, very encouraging. So gets a lot of, so I hope our audience gets a lot of, confidence today in terms of making that journey, switching from whatever entry-level software to accounting software to QuickBooks to NetSuite looks seamless. But I mean, I personally, Mr. CK, I've done 3 implementations of ERP, right? In my tenure at the organization that I used to serve, one of the large FMCG. I did 3 implementations myself, right? So the tool system, everything is perfectly fine, but the biggest worry point for anyone and everyone who's going through that journey is that what will happen to my data, right? It was all perfect until yesterday. Today I decide to switch or migrate, and I'm worried about what is going to happen actually. So if you can help us gain some confidence over there as well, that would be something great.
Okay, there. Generally, they say that the best data migration strategy is no data migration, right? But well, that is not a fact, and
never happens.
Yes. So now data migration is one of the most important topic or an implementation discussion point in any project. And it is important that we see data migration not as a technical work, but it has to be looked into the combination of a technical as well as a business function. That's the one mistake generally organization does, that they say, hey, it's a technical work. I have to bring all the data. I have to, And this is also true, and you have just stated there that data migration is the cause of many ERP implementation being failed or delayed extensively, because data migration becomes itself is a different project and become the black box. Yeah. So our approach to data migration is very holistic, and our priority is always to get our customers' business up and running in NetSuite as soon as possible. Now, we do have a templates for all master data, transactional data, historical trial balances for all the finances data, which can be loaded monthly, quarterly, yearly. We can decide on the numbers of the years, and we provide our templates upfront, rather even before we start the project, so that data can be collected and populated in our templates. It can be mapped, it can be cleaned, and it can be reviewed. A typical term is a garbage in, garbage out. We don't want the data to be uploaded and then you review the data. We want that data to be reviewed before we upload it. And we take it as a parallel activity. Okay. And again, we all know that with all our experience, that no data migration strategy is right data migration, because every data migration strategy should be tailored with your project, because every project has its own uniqueness.
Absolutely.
And every go live, what you decide is not a technical decision, it's a business decision, because we have to attain some business milestone. So that is what is important in any data migration, is the discussion with the business stakeholder and how much data you want to bring in. Do we really need all the closed transactions? All those are the business decision. And we always advise our customers, hey, this is an opportunity for you now to revisit your data strategy, see that how you can bring your relevant data, how you can bring your cleansed data. But bottom line there is that we do have templates and approach to meet customer need, and we do provide guidance on the migration strategy also. We have like a kind of approach where we say that, hey, I want to go live in 2 months. Okay, let's go with the opening balances, and then you can bring your historical data later, where we can go and readjust your previous year. So we do have all kind of approach where we get engaged with the business stakeholders, and we take it as per the case-to-case basis. Now, we don't implement, we don't take any implementation as a technical project, but we partner with our customer in their business transformation journey. And we do understand this is not about the technical or functional, but an entire change management is involved. That is where our leading practices, configurable templates, and pre-configured dashboard KPIs are a key differentiator. And I always emphasize that our customers should go live as soon as possible. When I use the term as soon as possible, maybe 90 days, maybe within 3 months, because you are investing on the cloud. Your return for investment should be justified. The delayed project is already a delayed project, and there's a lot of opportunity cost goes inside. And many of our customer has gone live even much earlier. So our implementation process again takes the priority on what it takes our customer to go live in a stipulated time. And we work closely with our stakeholders in that direction. Another important aspect is training. Now, training is important in any successful go live and post go live usage, because we don't see, hey, I have to go live. I have to see that, hey, my customer or our customer, they are using the system in a sustainable way going forward. And our learning cloud approach gives our customer a tool to train and retrain continuously after going live, because nothing can beat the strength of well-trained workforce. So we take this as an holistically, and we actually include everything. For data migration, we see that what is your business decision, when you want to go. Technically, we have all the templates, but we plan it as per the business need. Yeah, so that's my take on that.
Sure. So I think there is, Ms. Shrutika, who's attending this webinar today, this discussion today. He has sent one question. I am hoping that she would have got the answer, but is there anything that you wish to add, Mr. CK, here? She's asking a direct question. Is there any tool to transfer data from QuickBooks to NetSuite?
Okay, so we do have a template. That's why I said we have a template. Okay, we have a templates, and our templates are mapped to the NetSuite. Okay, so unlike in a lot of ERP package, when you say the templates, people think, hey, this is the Excel file. Yes, this is Excel file or CSV file for us also. But where it comes in difference, when we map it, and that template can become a tool for ongoing forward. So answer is yes, we can use that template and map it. Okay. In a data migration, no matter how much one can give you an assurance, there always has to be a staging stage where you bring the data and you move to a template. There's no shortcut to that. That exercise has to be taken. And that's why we bring the data migration at the early stage so that we have enough time for this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. CK. I think, Mr. Uttam, one question I think from Shrutika only is there for you, which is NetSuite compatible with e-invoicing?
Yeah, very much. We are compatible for e-invoicing, and we have a go-to-market partnership with ClearTax as well, who helps us the entire e-invoicing as a journey. So the entire validation check and everything is happening. So it's fully compatible at all different stages. So as and when the organizations kind of get required to be part of the e-invoicing cycle, we can definitely onboard them as well. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I have one more question for you, Mr. Uttam, from this another gentleman who's attending this session today by the name of Pappu Srinivas. And he's asking that we are looking for NGO profile. Instead of department, can we modify to donor? I think what Soumya had explained, the department concept, they have a concept of donor. Is that possible? Or
Absolutely. We can actually, so any of these business dimensions, these are very symbolic, as we have kind of identified. They can be name changed to anything. So if we typically in an NGO profile, we definitely need a donor and those kind of attributes there. So we can definitely get donor related activities. We can get donor related analytics as well. And more so when we say that implementation is a process. So as we kind of move across, perhaps we can understand the details a little more, and perhaps can get a more refined process or a thought around as to like, how do we map this entire thing? But yes, it can be done.
Okay. So I have one more question from Ms. Savina Tabassum. She says, hi, I'm Savina. I have a question. In this go live process, in which stage will the customization and technical development for the system gets in?
I think
Mr. Uttam, you or
I think,
CK,
this question is this question is for me. So if you can just go to that second slide, second or go live slides. So to answer your question, Savina, I mean, we take it as a parallel activity. The moment we have a kind of a so-called personalization session where we actually map your business process with our leading practices. Okay, so during that process, we actually identify the gaps. Our endeavor is to identify the gaps even before we start the project. But if, for example, that we have not identified the gap, that is the area where we identify the gaps, and we take it as a parallel activities. We take it as parallel activities as we are configuring your system. We take your customization also along with that, so that when you have a system integration test or your extra test, you have your customization ready by then.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. CK. And in the interest of time, I would like to request everyone, including speakers and the attendees, If there are any questions that you still have, please feel free to send those questions, email those questions to the expert team from NetSuite. And this is a promise that they will definitely get back to you with the answer to the questions. But in the interest of time, I would like to not take more than 2 or 3 minutes further, but conclude this session by inviting you, Mr. Uttam, first, to share your key takeaways from this session, and then to Mr. Siva, and then to Mr. CK.
Yeah, thanks. So again, the way I read, primarily from a QuickBooks perspective, so to entry-level software or an accounting software is easy to kind of onboard the software. It's cost-effective to start your business. But as we kind of scale through, there are different challenges. So if you're continuing to grow, and you need a system that can grow with you, can scale with you, a system that provides a holistic picture of your business and helps you to take your business to a next level. That's NetSuite for you. So I would leave it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Mr. Siva.
I mean, it may be sounding a little repetitive, but when the business envisions accelerated growth, a need for a robust system that automatically emerges to understand, handle complexities. And if you look at when the growth is happening, they are not low. I mean, ideally, we see that there are no black box that are required where they want to have more open, flexible, powerful, and scalable system. And NetSuite definitely makes a cut there to help them grow and automate it in a very nice fashion.
Great. Thank you so much. Mr. CK.
Yeah, customer success is the key thing. And we want to give you that a kind of a customer success that can be scalable for many, many years to come for any additional investment on or going back to this kind of adjustment to the system. So that is the key. And our suite success methodology is just not a standard waterfall or agile methodology, but it's actually 2 decades of learning from our implementation and from all our customers, which we have resulted in developing the leading practices. And we combine that into the implementation methodology, what we call it suite success. So customer success is key for any software as a services business, because we see ourselves pride in your success, and so that you can start the successful usage of our NetSuite for years to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as I mentioned, that having having spearheaded this 3 implementation of ERPs in my own tenure, right? I know that how difficult it is to take that fundamental decision, but to decide as to which ERP solution that you would like to go for. But in today's discussion, I get enough confidence, and I go back in time, and I think that something similar of a solution, if it existed at that point of time, it was easy for me to take a decision which software I want to go, and get that kind of peace of mind that as my business grows, my operations become scalable and well supported through the system that I'm going to implement today will last for years together or decades together. So I mean, I plenty of confidence, through this session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Uttam. Thank you, Mr. Siva. Thank you, Mr. CK, for kind of, and Soumya, for showing us, how easy, how quick, how seamless it is, great session, great insightful session, and a lot of confidence that instills in everyone's mind. I do hope so. And as I told all my participants today, that if you have any further questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to NetSuite team, and you will get very quick response. That's a promise to you. Thoroughly enjoyed the time here. Wish you all a great time. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Really appreciate, and good connecting with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.